Hello, my name is Scott Garrison. You may remember me as Scott the Barber or just as Ron and Carla's son. I've been involved in our community since opening Scott's Barbershop on the southeast corner of 3rd and Main in 1998. Now I'm back in the same building as Garrison Financial. I started investing in my 20s. I invested through the dot-com crash and the Great Recession. I started caring for other people's money in 2018, and I truly enjoy sitting down with my clients, understanding their wants and needs as well as what keeps them up at night. Whether my friends just want me to invest a little of their savings or want me to work with their tax and legal professionals to strive towards optimal efficiency, we can do it all. I believe communication is key to helping my clients reach their goals. For if we are faithful over a few things, we shall be given more. Contact me at scott@soonerwealth.com. Securities offered through registered representatives of Cambridge Investment Research, Inc., a broker-dealer member FINRA and SIPC. Advisory services offered through Cambridge Investment Research Advisors, Inc., a registered investment advisor. Garrison Financial and Cambridge are not affiliated. This communication is strictly intended for individuals residing in the states of Colorado, Nevada, Oklahoma, and Texas. No offers may be made or accepted from any resident outside the specific states referenced. Cambridge does not offer tax and legal advice.
If you build it, he will.
It's the Skinny on Sports Podcast with Aaron Cowk.
I throw balls far. You want good words? Data language.
Talk real sports with a real man.
Come after me! I'm a man! I'm 40!
And now, here's the be-all, end-all, know-it-all of high school, college, and pro sports. Aaron Skinny Cowk with the Skinny on Sports.
We're talking about practice, man. I'm the MVP.
Good Friday morning out there, Western Oklahoma. Welcome to the Skinny on Sports right here on 98.1 FM, the Sports Animal. Glad to have you along for the next hour. It's going to be a busy day. Did you see Mark Dagnall's tee shot yesterday in the Pro-Am at Live Golf? Neither one of you guys saw it?
No.
You're going to have to. I want to. It defies physics what he did. I've got an update from a story that we had some fun with a couple of months ago on the old walleye fishing tour.
Oh, that thing's coming up again?
It has come back around. I can tell you what happened to the gentleman.
Oh.
The punishments have been doled out for the fishing cheating scandal on the walleye fishing tour. The NFL schedule was released. That means now we have over/under numbers. We'll get to that right off the top. Of course, we want to talk about the Bedlam thing. Being more likely in the postseason now because the two teams aren't in the same conference. Some NBA playoff stuff, and of course, the 4A baseball tournament. Tell you what happened yesterday. Look forward to what we got going on today. 225-9698 is the phone or the text line. 225-9698. Give us a call, shoot us a text. We can talk about any of those things. Whatever else might be on your mind, feel free to chime right in at 225-9698. If you're going to be outside the listening area, stay in touch with us a couple of ways live, kadsam.com, the app. The app's got it all. It's got radio, it's got the Penny News, and most importantly today, it's got Big Elk TV where you can watch the Elk City Elks and the Tuttle Tigers. 3:30 scheduled start time up at Edmond Memorial in the 4A semifinals. So if you can't make it up to Edmond Memorial today to watch in person, you can do it right there. Jared and I will be in the house at Edmond Memorial this afternoon. 3:30 for the Big Elks and the Tuttle Tigers. Of course, Skinny on Sports podcast is available. If you miss the show entirely, you can go back and check that out anywhere where you can find a podcast. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
You find it?
I'm trying to find it. But that's all right. We need to move on. And
No. Here's the question.
Okay.
If you were videoing somebody's golf shot, where would you think would be the safest place to be to video that golf shot?
Directly behind him.
Directly behind the ball.
Right?
Directly behind the player.
The player, yeah.
Directly behind the player.
Yes.
Okay, so you're thinking, because I think you could, even behind the ball, something crazy could happen.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, Tuesday night in the scramble, I'm not kidding you. This is perfect timing. On number 2, tee box, Rusty was hitting. I was directly behind him, 15 feet or whatever, back there a ways on the back of the tee box. He hit it. His tee started spinning. It hit me right in the mouth, like right in the top lip. I'm not even kidding you. And I got to thinking, man, that could have hit me in the eye. Like, I've never thought about that. So I would agree. behind the player you would think would be the safest place to be. And yesterday, Mark Daignault hit TJ Eckert's camera. I don't know how.
Holy smokes.
Somebody tell me how he hit that shot. Like how you do that.
I meant like directly
behind the ball.
That's
No.
what I
That's
meant.
what I
This
was
guy
thinking.
was.
No, he was behind the player.
behind the
He
player's
was
back
90
was what I
degrees
was
behind
thinking.
the ball is what I was. So, okay, but I see what you're saying. He was towards the player's back to
He was-
Coach
Yeah.
Daignault's
You would
back.
Yeah.
think
Yes.
that's the safest place. to be.
Absolutely, I would. You wouldn't want to be on the other side because you could see somebody. I mean,
I suddenly feel really good about my game after watching
he
this.
almost
This
hit
is-
himself.
This is crazy.
That might have
Wow.
been the closest I've ever seen anybody to hitting themselves with a driver.
Guy
Wow.
really needs to go to the range.
I mean, I guess for all you OU fans that are also Thunder fans that would get mad at say Bob Stoops on a week off where he'd go to Florida, you don't have to worry about that with Daignault. He's not hitting. He's not playing golf
not
on
getting an
his off
invite.
days. He's watching film, baby. You don't have to worry about that.
His reaction's great. He just ooh, ooh.
yeah,
Ooh,
yeah.
sorry about that, bud. Hey,
I do think they let him.
I
they
got
let
the
him hit
Thunder in
another
the
one.
play-in game. Yeah, maybe
And
gonna
I
hit a
actually-
provisional here.
I actually saw that you get to hit another one. If
Yeah.
you're on the tee box, you can re-tee. I mean, it's your second shot, but you can lift the ball and re-tee. Did you know that?
I think they. No, I didn't. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, you can always replay a shot no matter what. Yeah, so I guess you.
It's-
you
no, but
usually
it's-
don't want
it's
to.
not an additional penalty. It's just playing number two. You
Oh,
can
really?
lift the ball and put it
You
back
just
on
hit
the
it.
tee. Not something that you would ever have to worry about, but it might be something that Jared would have to worry.
I mean, this is no offense to our man Jared, but the similarities between Daignault and Jared's golf game. One, they're both left-handed.
He is left-handed.
They're
That's
both
right.
left-handed, and so I got to thinking to myself, okay, lefties. I don't know a ton of lefty golfers. There's just not a ton out there. And with my dad not here anymore, because I've actually seen him pull some pretty amazing bad stuff. And so you're left.
I played with Chuck. in a few
Yeah, I mean,
scrambles.
there's some
We
times
clearly haven't golfed
where
enough
he could
together.
do some really awful shots, right? And so, but you never knew. Sometimes it might be right-handed, sometimes it might be left-handed, just depending on what the year was. So that leaves, when I think of guys that have the capability of hitting some bad left-handed shots, that really kind of leaves Jared and Joe Wynn.
Well, then
Is that
I'm
kinda where
clearly-
we're
I'm-
at?
I'm clearly taking the cake on
Oh
that one.
my gosh!
Yeah.
I've hit
Well,
some.
you're not going to touch
I've hit
Joe.
some
You're
bad
not gonna
shots.
get close to Joe Wynn
Well-
around the green. Now you get Joe around the green, he's pretty solid.
I mean, putter from 80. But it goes up by the hole. I mean,
goes by the
listen,
hole.
Whatever works.
there's nothing worse than like being on Joe's team and him hitting like a 40-yard putt up by the hole, and then you get your wedge out and you clank it around, and he goes, "Why wouldn't you putt it?"
There you go.
And I mean, he's kind of right for him. I'll tell you why I wouldn't
That's
putt it.
true.
I wouldn't get it halfway there, or I'd blast it.
Yeah.
I don't do that every day, Joe. I don't putt through rough off the cart path down by the hole. Just not my game. Maybe it needs to be, but right now it's not. Daignault's shot was, that was incredible.
I can't
if you haven't seen it, so TJ Eckert is one of the news or the sports guys up at Tulsa on the TV, and he literally is like dead behind Daignault, like to his back, like Daignault's back as he's addressing the ball is to Eckert, and he puts some kind of weird top spin, drive it into the ground, top
Hit it with the
something heel that comes up and it hits his camera. I don't know how he did it. It's like the Matrix got involved and like whipped it around there to hit him. I don't.
Matrix got it.
It is wild. It is wild.
Clearly,
Oh,
there's
my
a
gosh.
glitch in the Matrix.
Yeah. Okay, so last night the official unveiling, I guess, of the NFL schedule. Everybody now. I mean, it's so funny that the NFL can do this because everyone knows who their team is going to play because it's set in stone, right? I mean, there's a formula to it. Everybody knows, but you don't know when. And I mean, heck, you even know where. You just don't know when. But it's a whole week-long deal where things kind of leak out and here and there. And so after last night, now we have official over-unders from Caesars. So this is, real stuff. Mm-hmm. And I asked you guys off the
Not
air.
that we'll ever get to gamble on it in Oklahoma because, got some senators taking too much money from tribes. But
drive
anyway,
up.
anyway.
All you got to do is you just got to drive up north of Woodward stop a foot over the line, and then you can do it.
There
How
you
much sense does that make?
There you go.
Anyhow, so who do you think? Who do you think has the highest over-under, the highest win total going into this season?
I said the Jets, and I'm still sticking with it. They're loaded. They're loaded, and they're in an easy division.
What do you say, Jared?
I'll go with the Eagles.
I would have said the Eagles also, and you're both incorrect. It's two teams tied at 11.5. And I'm really surprised with one of them because of the division they play in. One of them is no surprise.
The Chiefs.
The Chiefs. But the other, and this ought to be kind of a slap in your Steelers' face, the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah, I don't doubt that.
11.5.
I don't doubt that.
That seems like a bunch to be in that division.
Well, Cleveland's going to be Cleveland. And the Ravens, I mean, who knows when Lamar's going to get hurt this year.
That's true. That's true.
Well, he got paid, so he's good to go.
Yeah, he might be hurt by the second game. He might blow something out by the second game this year. So, yeah, far out. Who's the low? What are your Cowboys?
Yeah, hang on. I was looking at their schedule to see when they played the Ravens. They play them the second week, and then a little further down. So they're going to have to play them at least once. Let's see. The Dallas Cowboys, I would guess like 9.5. Yep, 9.5. That seems like where the teams that kind of have some warts, but you think are going to be pretty good Jets are also in that 9.5, exactly that same spot. That I would probably go over. Mm-hmm. Even though the schedule will be tougher than it was last year
Cowboys
because
or Jets?
because they won or they're second in the division. No,
Yeah.
for the Dallas. For
Dallas?
They're both 9.5.
So Dallas division plays Pittsburgh's division this year? Did you just tell me that the Ravens play Dallas?
No, I was talking
No,
about the
no,
Ravens
the
and
Ravens
the Bengals.
Oh, okay.
It looks like Dallas plays the
What AFC division are they going to play?
AFC East.
Okay.
Because Jets, Patriots,
Bucks.
Bills, and Dolphins. Yep, that's
Yes.
right. So, and then in the they play the NFC West. So you're talking about Cardinals. Dang, got a bad break there. Cardinals and 49ers on the road. Actually, yeah, you probably rather go to Arizona than Seattle, so maybe not such a bad deal.
I don't know. Seattle's going to be pretty bad.
At the Bills, at the Dolphins, have the Patriots and the Jets at home. So,
Yeah.
let's see about
Yeah.
your Steelers. Your Steelers were 8.5.
Hey, we're rebuilding. I'm not even going to get my hopes up. I have resolve that come 2024 season, we're going to rock and roll.
So you also play the NFC West. And it looks like you get the break of all breaks. Nope. I used to play this. Wait a minute. Yeah. The AFC South.
We'll take that.
Absolutely.
We'll take that.
Absolutely. It's a crappy division when by far the best team in it is about to move to London.
Yeah. That's actually what I was wanting to talk about
Go ahead.
today.
All right, good.
Okay, so did you see how many games are going to be in Europe this year?
Bunch of them.
Like 5. 5 games in Europe.
And for the first time ever, one team is having to play twice, and that is the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah. And they've been talking about Jacksonville to London for a couple of years now. They really have. So, God, can you imagine being a Jags fan down there in Jacksonville? You've suffered through lower than mediocrity. I mean, just utter disgrace of football. Now they're finally starting to turn the corner and, hey, we're going to go to London.
It'd be a rough go. It'd be a rough go. I wonder. They really do seem like the most logical choice, though, because they've had like almost shooting star moments. In 2017, all of a sudden you look up, you're like, the Jaguars are in the AFC title game. What? And then of course they go right back down.
Yep.
And so there's not a lot of sustained success. It doesn't seem like even when they're great, it's overly popular.
That's true.
Down the, you know what I mean? It feels like they are kind of the obvious choice.
Okay, so who's the second? Because we're not going to have more than a 2-team expansion. The NFL won't do it. I mean, even when they did the 2-team expansion, that really ruffled a lot of feathers with owners around the league in the fact that they were going to have to let go of some players and they were going to have to, it was a big deal.
Yeah, so if you move teams, you don't have to do that.
If you move teams, you don't have to do it. So if they decide to expand to Europe, they're going to do 4 teams. They'll have an entire division.
Yeah, I think so too. I think so too.
So who's the other team going to be?
I think the most obvious choice, and it almost feels like it has to be on the East Coast, right? Or does it matter? I guess it doesn't matter.
I think it has to be one of the teams from LA.
I almost
the
went
Chargers,
there.
maybe.
That's a great. I would have never thought about that.
With the city that's sharing stadiums, and like MetLife shares,
and they don't have any
Giants.
fans anyway.
No, they don't have any fans.
Chargers.
No.
Yeah,
I know of one. My brother.
San Diego, but San Diego
but it was when they were in San Diego.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes total sense. I was going to say Carolina just because of where they're at.
Yeah,
but what does it matter?
Even being bad, Carolina has a huge.
That's
fan
true.
base.
And what does it
states
matter?
worth, yeah.
It doesn't matter where. If you're going to Europe, it doesn't matter what division. That can all be redone anyhow.
Yeah.
I think that makes a ton of sense. The Chargers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the Rams were LA first.
Right. The Rams were LA for forever.
That's right. They have a tie.
Yeah, you got Jack Youngblood. I mean, you have some major historical power with the Rams.
So now you got to
LA.
think about teams that haven't always been there. So, like, what about the Cardinals?
That's a good question.
Yeah, they seem like
maybe the Cardinals
nomads
could be one
in the NFL. Yeah,
that aren't overly rooted into the fabric of their city.
I think we just moved Green Bay over there.
Yeah, that
it's
ain't
a
happening.
Small market team.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You know what?
Micah, if you're listening, your team's going to Europe.
If this was the NBA, they probably would have to.
The obvious answer is, and nobody's going to cry about it other than one city, is Cleveland. They've already lost them once.
Yeah, that ain't happening.
This
city might burn down to the ground.
It might burn. Yeah, without a doubt.
No one's feeling sorry for him. Hey, you know what? You can take Deshaun Watson and go to Europe. He'll have a better
Yeah,
time
I think
over
I
there.
actually might feel sorry for him if that happened after the first time.
Europe probably wouldn't take it. They've probably got some kind of sex offender laws that wouldn't allow Deshaun Watson into
The new king might say no to that one. Over there in the UK. I think another question is if this is a serious thing, if they're really looking at moving.
I think it is.
It's very serious.
Now, it's really cool to see games in London. It's almost kind of fun to wake up at 8 a.m. on a Sunday and turn on some live football. But the crowds are crazy. They're packed over there. But is it a novelty, or could they do that week in and week out?
I think they could absolutely
because if you remember, there was an NFL Europe, and it was okay.
Yeah, but it wasn't the NFL.
I know, but my point is, will there be, will they
still
embrace
is.
it like they do soccer over there? Or
Germany has several football teams, and it's a big deal. It's a pretty big deal.
Okay.
They really do have. There were a couple of guys from Southwestern that played over in Germany just 5 years ago, and I mean they had 50,000 people in a stadium, so
I'm just curious.
We're getting the text message. Don't let it go to Amsterdam, or happy endings are bountiful in Amsterdam.
Oh, jeez.
So that's schedule release, huh? How about
Yes.
it? I want to go down a path I don't want to go down.
Here's my question. Who did Canada tick off?
Seriously?
Oh,
They haven't even but they're talking about 2 teams in Mexico too. They're talking about maybe a couple of teams in Mexico in the future too, and they're not saying a word about Canada.
Blame Canada. Blame it on Trudeau.
I guess.
I mean, honestly, we were this close last year. Or did it even happen? In the Major League Baseball playoffs, where the Canadian team, they wouldn't let anybody come play them there.
Yeah,
with Toronto, so that it's kind of on them.
Well, and nobody wants to go play in Canada because of the taxes.
Well, yeah, and that's a thing.
Yep,
that is absolutely a thing. Yeah, that maybe the Cardinals. After I said that, the Cardinals seem like a better fit in Mexico City for some reason. I mean, geographically, but that.
But the first thing that'll happen is I think that the NFL will probably give Europe a shot. probably in the next decade.
I kind of do too.
And they'll need to do 4 teams, and they won't do a 4-team expansion. They'll do a 2-team expansion, and they'll move 2 teams. So
that gives an odd number. Gives
an odd number. What do you mean?
I mean 17 per conference.
Yeah, that's
or
true.
8, or I guess because you're just adding 2. It'll have to be a little bit weird, but
yeah,
it's going to be a little bit weird anyway.
It would be weird anyway.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, man. What's going on down on Main Street?
Hey, we're working with some people. We're just helping people find their way through this market. It's a little bit sketchy, a little bit crazy, but there's opportunities out there. There's some products that we can use if the market's just scaring you too much. There's some other things that we can do to help you take care of your money. There's things we can do for Safe Money now to actually make Safe Money make some money instead of sitting in a bank account drawing 0.1% interest. So come see me. Let's talk about it. Let's make a plan, and let's make your money work as efficiently as it can possibly work for you.
Scott at SoonerWealth.com, 124 North Main Street, right here in Elk City. Scott, thank you, sir.
Okay, I know it's on an upcoming segment, but so break down the game for me today.
It's all you could. It's all you could possibly want.
Give me the quickest breakdown.
If you're wearing the brown and white,
and then you can go into your because I'm not a baseball guy. Like
I've got it.
Is Tuttle's pitcher going to be anywhere close to our pitcher?
We have cash and they don't.
That's what I figured.
There you go.
There you go. All right. Sounds good, guys.
All right, man. Thanks, Scott. Scott at SoonerWealth.com. It's Garrison Financial Friday, and it's a fun Friday. We will look ahead.
Full Friday, yeah.
Look ahead to today's game, the Elk City Elks and the Tuttle Tigers, a rematch of last year's state semifinal. Talk about what needs to change for the Brown and Whites to come out on top today.
Hello, my name is Scott Garrison. You may remember me as Scott the Barber or just as Ron and Carla's son. I've been involved in our community since opening Scott's Barbershop on the southeast corner of 3rd and Main in 1998. Now I'm back in the same building as Garrison Financial. I started investing in my 20s. I invested through the dot-com crash and the Great Recession. I started caring for other people's money in 2018, and I truly enjoy sitting down with my clients, understanding their wants and needs as well as what keeps them up at night. Whether my friends just want me to invest a little of their savings or want me to work with their tax and legal professionals to strive towards optimal efficiency, we can do it all. I believe communication is key to helping my clients reach their goals. For if we are faithful over a few things, we shall be given more. Contact me at scott@SoonerWealth.com. Securities offered through registered representatives of Cambridge Investment Research, Inc., a broker-dealer member FINRA and SIPC. Advisory services offered through Cambridge Investment Research Advisors, Inc., a registered investment advisor. Garrison Financial and Cambridge are not affiliated. This communication is strictly intended for individuals residing in the states of Colorado, Nevada, Oklahoma, and Texas. No offers may be made or accepted from any resident outside the specific states referenced. Cambridge does not offer tax and legal advice.
The Skinny on Sports.
Mark, yeah, yeah.
Welcome back, Garrison Financial Friday, right here on the Skinny on Sports. Appreciate Scott stopping by as he does most every Friday, unless he's not tied up. Scott at SoonerWealth.com is his email address. 124 North Main is his address. He can do the full financial planning. He'll shop the open market to bring you the best value on your life insurance and investments and much, much more that we'll continue to talk about as we move along throughout the show. Jared, yesterday, Class 4A baseball tournament, got about 65% complete maybe as the Elks finished their game, Tuttle finishes their game. Blanchard was up 9-2 in the 4th when the Storms rolled in, so that's created a little bit of chaos as far as the schedule goes. That we will tell you about here in just a second. But let's go back to yesterday. Eerily similar games for Tuttle and Fort Gibson these last 2 years in the quarterfinals. Fort Gibson raced out to a lead. Tuttle wouldn't go away, and the Tigers win again. The Tuttle Tigers win the Battle of the Tigers over Fort Gibson.
Reoccurring nightmare for Fort Gibson, right? You have that reoccurring nightmare, That's what happened to them, man. They got up that 3-0 lead, and then Tuttle just never went away. And man, they could hit the ball hard, and that's what they did. And they tied it with a suicide squeeze. And when they did it, the fans were like, "Oh, there's that again." Just kind of, "Oh yeah, all right, we tied it." It wasn't, "Whoa, look what just happened." It's like they're so used to that small ball type of baseball. But fun game, and sets up a big one today.
Yeah, and the Elks yesterday win 6-1 over Oologah in the quarterfinals. the Mustangs, just a disastrous bottom of the first inning. Their starting pitcher, A.J. Streeter. Was it A.J. and then Asher?
It was A.J. then
Yeah.
Asher. Yeah.
A.J.
I think I flipped him when it started, but
just could not find the strike zone, man. Holder gets kind of a chop hit, and then next thing you know, it's 5 straight walks. Then the Elks get a couple of ground outs, and you look up, and Elk City scores 5 runs in the first off 1 hit. And I think that's something looking forward to today when we talk about it that's going to have to be better. Elk City is going to have to hit the baseball way more effectively than what they did yesterday. There you go, Will, on the text line. Have to hit better.
Well,
have is in all caps. They're going to have to generate offense.
yeah, he said it. I
today.
mean, I don't think I said it in as many words on air yesterday, but me and Hunter off air were saying, man, I mean, it was nice to get the win, but we can't not hit the ball like that tomorrow and think we're going to have success just because we think we're getting Cash Mayfield on the mound. I think that's all but a certainty. So.
Yeah, I don't think there's a question mark about that today.
No, there's no question there. But the bats have to. It seemed like they were behind a lot of foul balls to the right. Strikeouts from certain individuals that were uncharacteristic. They just have to see it better, have to hit it better. You'd like to chalk that up to first game jitters in the state tournament. You see that sometimes. Fortunately, what happened in the first inning was good enough, and they tacked the other one on in the fourth. And the defense was stellar. The defense, outside of hits that just were outside the reach of, say, Catch Gino over at short or something up the middle, the defense was really, really good yesterday, and so was Cooper Church. So that's all well and good, but this is a different animal playing Tuttle. If they can bat the ball, you got to hope the Big Oaks can too, and more efficiently than they did yesterday.
Well, and something I just got sent to me too. The defense was good except for one play, and that was the bunt coverage where nobody was covering first.
Absolutely.
And with with the propensity we've seen from Tuttle at times to not be scared to lay it down, I would be shocked if they don't bunt it a few times early as well, just to check the bunt coverage, just to make sure that Cash can field his position.
And sometimes that
can't, especially if they get to a point where they can't hit it.
Yeah, exactly. If you can't put anything in place, sometimes that's your, I don't want to say last resort, but a resort is to lay down bunts and make the defense work and make your pitcher work too to try to cover those bunts and maybe try to exhaust him a little bit. And they do it really well. We know that. We know Tuttle does that really well. So that was a little lapse in the defense, but I will tip my cap to the defense. I think that calmed Cooper down when he can turn around. And I've always told this from little kids all the way up. It's like, if you got a defense that could work for you, don't be afraid to throw the strike, because you got guys behind you that are going to work for you. And that was very evident yesterday.
That's the beauty of Cooper Church. Is he's not overpowering, although he throws it plenty good, but he has a confidence about him that, hey, I'm better than you. I can pound the strike zone, and you're gonna I'm not gonna beat me.
Right.
You're gonna have to beat me, and that was the difference in the game. Cooper went out there, pounded the strike zone. He gave up a few hits, but nothing was just ripped. It wasn't like they were hitting it just way hard.
Nothing detrimental.
And at the end of the day, he didn't give Uligal anything.
And when they were in a spot, or when Uligal was in a spot to threaten, they got one run across. But I left my notes in my bag, but how many players were left on base? I could probably look it up. There was a lot. There's every inning that Uligal would get a runner on, but every inning they'd leave him on there.
Yeah, it seemed like all but like the 6th inning they had a runner on.
Yeah, and again, that's credit to the defense making plays. Keys was good over there at second yesterday. He shined. I mentioned Catch Gino. He made some ranging plays, a couple that just went under his glove by millimeters, but he was there. Just a half a step late, but still played very well. And Colin Church over at third had probably the play of the day, catching the line out and knowing to go straight to first for the double play. So. But today, I expect low-scoring, awesome baseball. Baseball we like to see between two good teams.
Rematch of last year's semifinals in which the Elks held a 5-2 lead going into the home half of the final inning in the bottom of the 7th, and then that's when all of a sudden Tuttle just came alive, and they ended up scoring 4 runs, sacrifice a suicide squeezed in the last run. To beat the Elks 6-5 and come back and turn that 3-run deficit into a 1-run win, which they went in onto the title game and lost to Blanchard by a single run that next day. And, that was such a weird day all around in that semifinal. It doesn't appear to be the same situation. We got there at 11, and, the game was delayed until, like a 5 o'clock start, I think, with the rain, and then having to find a place to go, then everybody leaving Shawnee to go to Noble, and, Noble having to mow the grass because their season was over before, just kind of redo the field, get the field in shape, which they did a phenomenal job. But it wasn't much of a routine as hopefully what today is going to be up there at Edmond Memorial at 3:30. Now, here's what happened with everything else yesterday after the Elks left. Blanchard and Pryor got to play into the fourth inning. Blanchard is ahead 9-2 when that game was suspended due to the weather. So they will get back going at 11 this morning. Then the final quarterfinal game will be at 1 o'clock. That'll be that Lone Grove-Cushing game. So that'll exhaust the first round, and then that leads into the semifinals. The Elks and Tuttle at 3:30. The other semifinal will be at 6 o'clock, and then tomorrow's stuff is still as scheduled. It was interesting when I kind of texted Coach Hunt last night. You could tell that they were done playing, obviously, there at Edmond Memorial. Kind of what happens, because the original schedule had the 11 o'clock game today being a 2A semifinal. Well, guess what? They didn't finish it. So they ended up going to Seminole. Seminole State is where they were moved to now with, storms last night going through there. Who knows? Haven't seen. I guess I could pull the OSSA.
Probably.
But that's why those games were able to be kind of readjusted and be at Edmond Memorial. Yeah, still at Seminole State College in the same exact same situation as Dale and Amber Pocasset will resume their game in the fourth inning down at Seminole State, just like the now, wait a minute. Okay, so here's what I think has happened. I think they've adjusted times. Oh. So did 3A finish? I'm going to say 3A finished the quarterfinals. They did. At Seminole.
Yeah, that's where 3A was.
Okay,
yeah.
So 3A, because I'm seeing this note on OSSAA that the 3A championship game now will be moved to 11 o'clock on Saturday. That's supposed to be 2A. But I think because of what 2A has to do today, then they're going to give them a little bit extra time, and they'll play the sandwich game on Saturday. So it'll go 3A, 2A, 4A instead of 2A, 3A, 4A. See what I'm saying? On the times on Saturday.
So to be clear, 4A time is not
4A
changed.
4A time isn't changed. Yeah, no.
Barring there's no rain. But
yeah, 2 o'clock. So it'll still be 5.
Yeah.
4A will still be at 5. They just flipped 2 and 3A because 3A got done with the 4 games yesterday. 2A didn't. And they're going to have teams playing a couple of games today with the results. So, yeah, it's interesting. I didn't see that last night. But as far as the Elks go, 3:30 today. If you're able to win and get into the championship game, that'll be a 5 o'clock start scheduled time at Bricktown tomorrow. Anything else from the baseball stuff?
We got it covered.
Big Elk TV, 3:30.
Ish.
Yeah. Here's the deal. We'll try to get it on the website. We were able to do that yesterday and kind of have that tag until we knew the official game time. And the problem is trying to get that information out is the way that goes is that other game has to finish before the coaches from the second game they kind of get together and decide how much time they want. Mm-hmm. So that's why there's not always. I mean, that's why it's impossible. What I'm trying to say is it's impossible to have a projected start to game 2 until game 1 is over. But we'll keep you updated as best we can. The best place to go is going to be the the Big Elk TV Facebook page. Big Elk TV Facebook page, because we are going to be there and be able to post to that in real time, right? I mean, and then we can relay that information back here, and the site will change. The Big Elk TV website will change with the way the information goes. But the quickest way and the most reliable way, quite honestly, is what we're posting on Big Elk TV as the game in front is finishing, and then what the information we can figure.
And the thing we can assure you is if you go to Big Oak TV and you could click play and nothing's happening,
It's not.
it's
yeah.
just nothing's happening. The
Yeah.
game's not on. And when the game gets going, well, not when the game gets going, we'll get you a pregame and everything. So that's your reassurance is of, okay, it's not on. You're not missing anything. And another way to check that, jump on our Facebook page because we also dual that to our Facebook page. So if there's no live video on our Facebook page, we are not on the air because there's no game.
Yeah,
So-
we'll try to keep you updated
Yeah.
as best we can.
And if we don't respond via text directly, it's because we're probably setting up or getting lineups and we're getting ready to.
but that's how you'll be able
My
to
phone
check.
dang near died yesterday.
Wow. I can tell you one thing. It's because there's a lot of people that are interested.
I know.
And
I
what's going
completely
on.
understand.
So-
I just figured everybody was at the game. There's so many Big Oak fans yesterday.
But that'll be the best way. The Big Elk TV Facebook page, Big Elk TV Facebook page. We'll post to that. I share it. You know, if you're just with friends with me and not Big Elk TV, shame on you first. But second off, no, I'm serious. I'll share those to just get it to more people, and you know, by the time a few people shares it, the whole town knows. You know what I'm saying? Courtesy of the Facebook. So, but that's how we'll do it. You know. Given 2 hours for 3 innings, that seems like enough, but you just never know, right? With that first game, but I would anticipate Cushing Lone Grove having a pretty good chance to start on time at 1:00, and then you got to see from there.
And then you just don't know.
You just don't know after that. But somewhere scheduled time's 3:30. If it's not, check. You know, we'll keep you updated as best we can as the information becomes available. If that start time. It's going to be a little bit later. So that's that. Man, what a fun day it's going to be. A fun day.
Very exciting.
I think I know at least on one side of this matchup, there's a whole bunch of people that have waited 364 days to get another shot at this game. So it ought to be a blast. We'll be back.
Hello, my name is Scott Garrison. You may remember me as Scott the Barber or just as Ron and Carla's son. I've been involved in our community since opening Scott's Barbershop on the southeast corner of 3rd and Main in 1998. Now I'm back in the same building as Garrison Financial. I started investing in my 20s. I invested through the dot-com crash and the Great Recession. I started caring for other people's money in 2018, and I truly enjoy sitting down with my clients, understanding their wants and needs as well as what keeps them up at night. Whether my friends just want me to invest a little of their savings or want me to work with their tax and legal professionals to strive towards optimal efficiency, we can do it all. I believe communication is key to helping my clients reach their goals. For if we are faithful over a few things, we shall be given more. Contact me at scott@soonerwealth.com. Securities offered through registered representatives of Cambridge Investment Research, Inc., a broker-dealer member FINRA and SIPC. Advisory services offered through Cambridge Investment Research Advisors, Inc., a registered investment advisor. Garrison Financial and Cambridge are not affiliated. This communication is strictly intended for individuals residing in the states of Colorado, Nevada, Oklahoma, and Texas. No offers may be made or accepted from any resident outside the specific states referenced. Cambridge does not offer tax and legal advice.
The Skinny on Sports.
Welcome back. Skinny on Sports, 98.1 FM, the sports animal. It's Garrison Financial Friday. Scott at Garrison Financial. Man, he can manage your investments, do all that for you. Or if you're one of those people that likes to manage your own stuff, but you're just not quite sure how to get started, he'll charge you hourly to build you a plan, and then you can manage it. Works with the accountants, streamlines all the tax stuff, all the tax return, all of that to get it working for you the way you want it to. Scott at Soonerwealth.com is his email address. 124 North Main is his physical address. Scott at Soonerwealth.com. All right, where do you want to go next?
I don't know. I mean, my mind is in one place, and it's just high school baseball. What about you?
I kind of want to talk about the fishing.
Oh, yeah. We've
The
got
fishing
to
story.
We've got to talk about this.
Okay, so
What did we leave off the table yesterday? What didn't we talk
the
about?
Bedlam stuff. We can do
Yeah,
Bedlam.
yeah,
we'll do
yeah.
Bedlam at the end.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you'll remember back, gosh, when was this? It's been a while back.
It's been a bit, yeah.
I know we were kind of on the road then. We were down.
I think we're down at Poppy's when
I think we were too.
broke this story.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so two fishermen, were on the walleye tour. Chase Kaminsky and Jacob Runyon. And they were dominating, and people were a little bit suspect about what was going on. And so this video went viral when they cut open the belly of one of these walleye, and there was weights added to the fish. And people got mad. I mean mad at, obviously the other fishermen. And a big thing, it was a big to-do. And so what happened was they were actually criminally charged and indicted on charges that included grand theft from, I guess, cheating and winning the prizes, felony cheating, unlawful ownership of wild animals, and possessing criminal tools were kind of the things they were charged with. And so that day there was a police report made by tournament organizers, and this is how this all kind of came about. So originally, those two pled not guilty. But here, when is this story? The story was updated this morning. So they have had a change of heart. And the two fishermen have now pled guilty to cheating and unlawful ownership of wild animals. Got any idea what they're... Got any idea? You think they're going to jail?
No.
You'd be wrong, Jared.
They're going to jail.
They're going to spend 10 days in jail.
That's incredible.
Serve 18 months of probation. They'll both have to pay a $2,500 fine. Their fishing licenses will be suspended for 3 years. And the most devastating financial punishment is that Chase Kaminsky has to surrender his $100,000 fishing boat.
Well, I agree with all of it but the jail time. It's a non-violent crime.
Oh,
there are more violent people that need to be put behind bars.
I don't know.
Why waste space?
I mean,
I agree with everything.
I think if you asked those walleye that got those weights shoved down their gills, if it was violent crime, they'd say, yeah, it was.
Yeah.
They'd say, you know what, Jared, that hurt.
Yeah.
Open up your gill and see if I can't shove some weights down it.
Okay.
I mean, they could have served way longer if it would have been a different. I mean, I'm guessing grand theft gets you a pretty hefty prison sentence.
Yeah.
But obviously, those charges are knocked down. So there you go. We have a resolution in the fishing cheating scandal. 10 days in jail, 18 months probation, $2,500 fine, fishing license gone for 3 years, and a $100,000 fishing boat is also gone. I've had a request from the text line to talk about last night's NBA playoffs.
Yeah, how did we forget that one?
I had it on there. We just kind of, yeah. One team is done, and one team is moving on, or forced to Game 7. Boston, gosh, Philly, you had it. They came back from a deficit, actually took the lead into the fourth quarter, and they proceed to score 13 points in the fourth quarter. Boston outscores them 24-13. Tatum, I think, made all 4 of his threes in the fourth quarter. And Boston wins 95-86, forces Game 7 back in Boston, of which it's really hard for me to find a way that Philly is able to win this game. Harden wasn't very good last night, 4 of 16. Embiid just isn't quite right. But give Jason Tatum credit. He wasn't very good. 1 of 14 at one point, but then in the fourth quarter, all of a sudden he made some shots and it was enough for Boston to win. Ends up 5 of 21, which doesn't look very good, but man, when 4 of those makes come in the fourth quarter from behind the arc, it was a big part of why they won. But ugly game, and Boston wins. In the nightcap, how about Phoenix?
That's an ugly game. What about this next one?
Yeah, Phoenix for the second straight year just absolutely gets blown off their home floor in a do-or-die game. It was the Mavericks beating them by 50 last year. This time they're down 30 at halftime, 79. Actually, I guess it ended up being 81-51 at halftime. DeAndre Ayton didn't play. Kevin Durant was bad. Cam Payne, who had Cam Payne as the best former Thunder in this game going in. He had 31 on 12 of 16, but Booker finally – here's the truth. Booker finally cooled off from that nuclear start to this series, and when he did, you realize that Phoenix had no chance of stopping Nikola Jokic. And without superhuman performances by both Durant and Booker, with Chris Paul out and with Ayton just a no-show, and he didn't even play last night, I don't think we should be overly surprised that Denver's moving on.
So you're saying there was no Batman to Denver's Joker?
No. Got the dad jokes.
Thank you.
That's,
So this is clear that KD is going to go play for Phoenix or for Denver next year because he's already scoring buckets for him.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah, I did.
No, that's you got to feel like you're cursed if you're Phoenix. You go and trade for KD, you go all in, and then you bow out like that. And to a team that in Denver that traditionally, yes, they always have really good teams since Joker's been on the team, and but they can't really get past that hump. But so this might be a defining moment for the Denver franchise. Like, hey, now we're in the Western Conference Finals. Low-hanging fruit here. I like their chances, whether it be against Golden State or the Lakers.
Yeah, I mean,
They play like that. I mean, you gotta love their chances.
yeah, they just kind of have stayed the course. They were good in the bubble, making it to the Western Conference Finals in the bubble, and then bowed out to L.A.
They just look better than that now.
And then but then Murray was hurt, and he got back at the end last year. But now he's healthy, and now but it's they've done a good job of getting. They're not overly deep, but they've done a good job of getting complementary pieces to Jokic, and Jokic is awesome. He just is. He's absolutely awesome, and I love that they're not a team that's easy to dislike. They're just kind of some guys, Jokic and Murray, and then some guys. I mean, they got Uncle Jeff, who's 100 years old, still playing. Jeff Green, another former Thunder. They're really well constructed. They got a good coach. I think Mike Malone's a good coach, and Jokic is awesome. And I don't see how in the world the Warriors can contend with what he does with Jokic now. And so if it's me, I want you to be right, and that it's the Lakers, and I'd love to see Anthony Davis and Jokic go at it.
Oh, that'd be a lot of fun.
That would be the most fun matchup to watch, I think, would be Davis and Jokic. And
I would take Jokic all day in that one. I question AD's toughness.
Oh, you think? Breaking news. No, I mean that's Denver. Is it just me, or does Denver not feel like the best team?
Yeah.
Not just in the West. I'm talking about period.
No, overall.
They feel like the best team.
That best team, yes.
Right now. They just do.
They give them credit because they've been a really good team.
They could have tore this up.
Exactly. They could have made these drastic moves to try to get over the top, go all in, sell the farm to get one title. And they haven't. They really haven't. They've just been this really good team that's now suddenly looks like they're one of the best teams in the NBA right now.
Yeah, on the Durant side, he had historically been one of the best players of all time in these knockout situations when his team was facing elimination. He had been, before last night, he had been incredible. Let me find that. I just saw it last night going into the game. Yeah, fourth best career average when facing elimination in NBA history, 30.2, behind only, these names are not names you're real familiar with. LeBron, Jordan, and Wilt.
They ring a bell.
It's the only guys that were better than him before last night, but KD wasn't very good. And like I said, Tatum was awful. He was 1 for 14 and then hit some threes. And, knocked down 4 of them, and then Game 7 happens. What about tonight? What happens tonight? Does LA finish off the champs, or do we go back to Game 7?
I think we alluded to that yesterday. I think they do. I think the stage is set, and Hollywood lights are going to shine bright, and LeBron's going to take over. Watch him kind of lull around and hang around, have a close game going into the fourth quarter, then you're going to see the Lake Show take off.
They better. Because if they don't, this is their chance to win the series, in my opinion.
No, it's not. They won't if they don't win it tonight.
Yeah.
I agree with you there.
I think the pressure is high. To me, the pressure is higher on the Lakers than it is on the Heat.
It always is.
Because the Heat, I'm
sorry,
talking about
the Heat.
the both teams that are up
Yeah.
3-2 at home. I could see Miami going back into MSG and beating the Knicks way before I could see the
yeah.
Lakers beating the Golden State.
Still the Knicks. Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, Team A versus Team B, 3-2 situation, chance to close it out at home. The team that has a chance to close out at home has more pressure, in my
think
opinion.
so.
No matter who it is.
Even though you got a mulligan in your back pocket,
Right.
you still have to go into that building and beat them, which you did in Game 1. And this also, this is a night that could end one of the most impressive streaks in NBA history. The Warriors have won a road game in 28 straight series. And they have yet to do that in this one. And if they don't, obviously tonight that streak ends because the series ends 4-2 Lakers. I have a feeling you're right. I have a feeling that the Lakers are going to win.
It's probably way too early to ask this question, but back to Phoenix, what happens next with Kevin Durant?
He's there. He's under contract. I mean, they're not doing anything with him.
Does that mean anything anymore, though?
Yeah, but I think he's where I think you got to start asking, how in the heck do they get out of DeAndre Ayton in that contract?
That's a good question.
That's the question, is that one and CP3. Because I think you've got Booker and Durant. They seem to enjoy playing with each other. They seem to feed off each other. Now the question is, how do we build this team to suit the best way for those two to work the best?
I guess the bigger question, what happens to Chris Paul?
Yeah.
Is he there as long as he wants to be?
Man.
Or, I mean, here we are again. Another question about Chris Paul's age and longevity. Or does he call it quits? That's going to be the question every year at the end of the season with Chris Paul.
How old is he? He's like 38. Oh, darn it. Okay, there we go. He's 38. So that means he'll be 39 come this time. Matter of fact, his birthday was a week ago. Man. I mean, he's been awesome. But here's the problem. They owe him $30.8 million next year and $30 million in 24-25.
That'd be a problem.
Yeah, paying Chris Paul $30 million when he's 40?
Yeah.
I'd say so.
That's a problem.
It's a huge problem. And then, but to me, that's not even the biggest problem for Phoenix. Here's the biggest problem. Let me scroll down to DeAndre Ayton's contract. You've got him for 4 years. This being the first. So you've got him for 3 more years at 33, 34, and 36 million. Ouch. You think if they had it all to do over again last summer, they would not make that deal?
100%.
Let him walk?
100%.
Because that was the big thing, that he was, unhappy after they lost to the Mavs, the former number 1 overall pick. Yeah. And here's the issue. You could have let him walk, not gotten anything for him. Now, I mean, his value could not possibly be lower. So you're going to have to give him away for peanuts or try to trade him. If anybody will take him, somebody will. if you truly want to do it.
Oh, somebody will take him.
But man, that's not looking good. That is a contract that is not looking good right about now with DeAndre Ayton. Ouchies. Especially now that you got Durant. And, you know, it's like they're trying to remake their team, but they've got those weights that those fishermen was stuffing into the gills of those fish around both ankles with Paul on one side and DeAndre Ayton on the other.
That might be a lesson learned for the rest of the league. But I know hindsight's 20/20. They had no idea KD was coming or even have a chance to get him.
Right.
You know, and they thought Ayton was their future.
Yeah.
Chris Paul to a lesser extent. I wouldn't have given that kind of money to them.
God, 3 years.
I mean, we love Chris Paul. I mean, we're not, but take who he is out of the equation and just look at his age. Why tie that down to a guy that's almost 40?
Bet they wish they wouldn't have.
Really messes with your future.
Bet they wish they wouldn't have right about now.
Yep.
On both of those deals. Thinking, oops, that was a bad move. And then the problem is when you get Durant, you have to give up Bridges and Cameron Johnson and Pick. You know, that youth that could reinfuse your team is now with the Nets, not with Brooklyn or not with Phoenix. It's a rough go.
So it comes back around. Does Durant think, listen, I want to win. I want to win now. What can you guys do for me? And how can they answer that question?
Yeah. Trade those guys.
Get out of those contracts. Get some more youth back. But it'd be hard to do with those contracts.
No doubt about it. All right, everybody have a great Friday. Don't forget Big Elk TV 3:30.
You've been listening to the Skinny on Sports podcast with Aaron Cow. Be sure to hit that subscribe button to get alerts of when the latest podcast is available. Thanks for listening.
That ball is blistered to right. Way back. Goodbye.
Hello, my name is Scott Garrison. You may remember me as Scott the Barber or just as Ron and Carla's son. I've been involved in our community since opening Scott's Barbershop on the southeast corner of 3rd and Main in 1998. Now I'm back in the same building as Garrison Financial. I started investing in my 20s. I invested through the dot-com crash and the Great Recession. I started caring for other people's money in 2018, and I truly enjoy sitting down with my clients, understanding their wants and needs as well as what keeps them up at night. Whether my friends just want me to invest a little of their savings or want me to work with their tax and legal professionals to strive towards optimal efficiency, we can do it all. I believe communication is key to helping my clients reach their goals. For if we are faithful over a few things, we shall be given more. Contact me at scott@soonerwealth.com. Securities offered through registered representatives of Cambridge Investment Research, Inc., a broker-dealer member FINRA and SIPC. Advisory services offered through Cambridge Investment Research Advisors, Inc., a registered investment advisor. Garrison Financial and Cambridge are not affiliated. This communication is strictly intended for individuals residing in the states of Colorado, Nevada, Oklahoma, and Texas. No offers may be made or accepted from any resident outside the specific states referenced. Cambridge does not offer tax and legal advice.